Hey everyone, Shabby Gamer here and welcome back to another episode of our Gibraltar Challenge here on Football Manager 2016. So since the last time I've seen you, I played a couple of games. As you can see, we faced off against St. Joseph's in the league and got a 2-0 victory. We sort of dominated that game, scored a couple of goals in the first half. In the second half, we got a little bit complacent and, well, that's been it really. We just didn't really do much in the second half at all. And then we won 6-1 in the Senior League Cup quarter-final. Hat-trick for Bustamante, who didn't play a lot last season. I'm trying to use him a bit more, trying to keep him happy because he's been with us now for 3 years. And again, like I said in the last episode, we're just trying to get a few people to take Gibraltarian nationality. Also goals for Frank Banning, Richard Jones and Patino. I don't know if he's had that cap for Colombia yet. He has. So now Patino has played for Colombia. So tell me, we've got some cracking players now. If you think about it, we've got players playing for Cameroon and Colombia, as well as obviously the Gibraltar national side as well, and quite a lot of under-20 stars. So we're really starting to have a lot of international experience in our squad as well. So in this episode here today, we're going to play at home against Gibraltar Phoenix, and then of course we have our next Champions League group match. We are going to be away against Marseille. So without further ado, let's get straight into that first match against Gibraltar Phoenix. And here we are. So as you can see, once again, we are pretty heavy favourites, as we are going to be for every game this season, really. 10-1 they are. We are 1-6. Our key man in this one is going to be our striker, of course, Eric Franks, who has been a very good player for us, actually, for the last couple of years. And another one I'm hoping will be able to keep a hold of for long enough to take Gibraltarian nationality, because I have read, I can't remember, I really apologise, I can't remember what your name is, but you comment quite a lot of my videos in the Gibraltar Challenge. You have mentioned that it's 5 years to gain, to get into the national side. You did mention that Americans are very good ones to go for as well. So, notable people in there, Team Nuristani, I think he started his career with us, did he? He did, played 7 games for us, young Danish striker. He's 30 now, wow. Just shows how far we are into this game now, because I'm sure he was a lot younger than that when we first started. Apart from that, I think Drimmy, I recognise the name from somewhere. So our team, we have got Machego in goal, who is getting better and better. I think he's actually better than Ramito, but Ramito's played a lot more in the Champions League so far this season. At left back, we're going to be giving Matthew Baxter a game. Not really a fantastic player, but he is one of our only Gibraltarian players, and I just want to give him games every now and again just to make sure they stay in the national side. Alongside him, we have the 2 guys that have taken Gibraltarian nationality. The first one here, Nick Halton. He is now into his 4th year, so next season might be able to. Alongside him, Jim Morrison, again, another guy who has taken Gibraltarian nationality, again, in his 4th year as well. So as soon as those 2 guys actually get called up for the national side, then we can look to maybe get rid of them, because they're not quite the quality of some of the other players we have now. Anders Broger is going to play in midfield. He's not going to play the whole game though, because we do want him to get his fitness for Marseille. He has been out injured for a while now, and with some of our other big players that are out injured, including Serge Tundi, gutted about that. He's out now with an injury with a hernia he picked up in training. He's definitely out of the Marseille game. Not quite sure about Barcelona as of yet, but he's going to be a big loss. So Broger, we're trying to get his fitness up for that game midweek. Eric Bernal, a player who's unhappy at the moment because he hasn't played a lot of football. This is his 2nd season with us. He played 19 games last year, but he's only played 1 so far this year. At left midfield, we have Atangana, one of our newer players we brought in the summer. Good player, actually. He looks like he's a pretty handy player. Needs to give him a bit more football. He's only played 2 games for us so far, so thought it'd be a good chance to give him a go. And Kwesi Oladiji, the Ghanaian, he's been with us a couple of years now as well. More of a backup player, but he's going to get the chance here with the injury to Atundi. And then up front we have Eric Franks, of course, our key man according to the media. Scored 17 goals in 25 games, pretty good player. And alongside him, the man who's been in great form the last few games, Maximiliano Bustamante, scored a hat-trick in his last appearance for us. So it'd be interesting to see if he can build upon that. And this is his 3rd season as well. So Bustamante would be a great person for Gibraltar to take up as a full-time player. I think if any of our players gain Gibraltarian nationality, I think straight away they'll get called up from the national side, because they're so far in advance of what the Gibraltar national side currently have. It would just be it'd be a massive improvement for them. And one thing I'm interested in is as I mentioned in the last few episodes, we did get taken over by a tycoon at the beginning of the season, and he invested quite a lot of money into the youth system. I think about £10 million it was. So it'll be interesting to see when we come round to February time if we do pick up some really good young players. And I think I'll probably bring you back for that episode We have been doing like a mid-season review the last couple of years, so I think instead of bringing you back at the end of January, I'll bring you back in about March time, show you the new young players we've got, and of course the players we brought in January as well. We've got some big names coming in January. I say big names, you won't recognise the names of course, but we've got some big players coming in January, some players that are really going to improve our squad, and I think it's going to make it a bit more easier for us in next year's Champions League playoffs and that sort of thing as well, because I'm hoping we're going to get sorted to the same sort of area next year. I don't know if we'll qualify for the group stages for the Champions League again next year, but as long as we can get a decent amount of money and put on a good show. But there's no reason why we can't, really, is there? We defeated Red Bull Salzburg, we defeated Dunfermline, we defeated Malmo. There's no reason why we couldn't get back into the Champions League group stage next year, because those three are difficult sides. It all depends. If we can get a lucky draw, then it'll be pretty good. Hopefully our coefficient's going to raise a bit this year as well, and we can get ourselves a bit further into the Champions League. And there's a goal. It's Jim Morrison with the header, his first goal of the season. Assisted by Nick Halton, so the two centre-backs linking up well there. Crossing by Oladipo from the free kick. Halton knocks it on, and Jim Morrison had a lot of space at our back post to head it into the back of the net, and we are leading 1-0. With all the attacking flair we have on the pitch, it's amazing to think that it's our two centre-backs that link up to score us the goal. Hopefully that'll be the first of many. And I'm really enjoying this series. I think I've said before, this is the furthest I've ever been into a Foot Manager career. I have a problem with these sort of games where I just like to restart the game over and over and over and over again. And it frustrates me as well, because I always sit there thinking, oh, if I do it differently this time, I'll do this. And I end up starting the game over and over again. But since I've been recording this, I've really got into this game, and we've really just keep loading the same one over and over again. It's been so much more fun, because you really start to see your development through the actual playthrough as well. So I don't know if I'm not happy with that first team performance. I'm not, and that seemed to work. I was a little bit worried then that might bugger up, but since they're all on 6.7, 6.8, apart from Jim Morrison, but that should fire them up, and hopefully in the second half we can score a few goals. We'll be taking off Broga pretty soon to make sure he's 100% fit for that match against Marseille, because we do have a couple of big injuries. Of course, we have Morgan, our Australian defensive midfielder. He got injured earlier on in the season, and he's missed quite a chunk of the Champions League games, which is a bit of a gutting one for us. Broga got injured as well, and he missed quite a few of the games, but he is back now. Atundi's going to miss a couple of games, so we really are losing a lot of our best players for this Champions League, and it's a bit of a shame, because we really want to give those players a chance to show exactly what they can do. Ataganya with a cross, and Oladipo puts it into the back of the net. Now the two wingers linking up fantastically well. Oladipo's second goal of the game. And we lead 2-0. Great ball by Bustamante. Saw the run of Ataganya, and he put it into a good position. Oladipo had a lot of work to do, because it was a very, very tight angle, but he did manage to get it into the back of the net, and it's a great goal. But still, I'm a little bit disappointed. 15 shots, 7 on target, and only 2 goals is not that impressive, really, is it? So we're going to be bringing on Frank Evans. Good old Frank Evans for Anders Broga. Anyone else we want to bring on? Vega, maybe? Let's bring on Vega for Eric Franks. I do like Vega. He's a very good player. We're going to make him as a target man, then Bustamante can run off of him then. Anyone else we want to bring into the Forte? No, I think we're okay now. We'll stick with just those 2 subs for now, and we'll keep that 1 spare just in case we have an injury, which hopefully will not happen because of the Champions League coming up. But again, I don't think many of the people on the pitch right now are going to be playing in that. I don't think anyone maybe Vega might sneak into the team. And it looks like they've got a highlight here. We'll probably take the ball off them and hit them on a counter. Drimmy plays the ball back to Halliday, their goalkeeper. Now what is Halliday going to do with the ball? He brings it forward, plays it long. It's cut up by Burr. Now it is going to be our highlight. Vega now on the ball. Plays it out wide. Oladipo's in a lot of space. Takes the early cross. Bustamante caught the volley, but not clean enough as Halliday manages to catch it. And again, 16 shots, 8 on target, 2 goals. I'm not overly happy with that. We need to be a lot more... I've forgotten the word. Needs to be a lot more dangerous. If I'll use that for now. Clinical, that's the word I'm looking for. We need to be a lot more clinical. If we're getting this many chances in the Champions League games against like Marseille and Barcelona and Chelsea, we're not going to get many chances. We need to take every single one we've got. And so far we've done well. We've got draws against Marseille and Barcelona in our first 2 games. We've lost the last 2 against Chelsea. And we've really put a good show against Chelsea. We lost 2-0 and we lost 2-1, so we've not done too badly. Hawks now plays it across the Vickery into Amos. To Nuristani, the young... See, it makes you wonder why players like Nuristani hasn't taken up Gibraltarian nationality. But then again, would he get into the national side, I suppose? That's the question. It's a good ball, though. James... Oh, that is awful. That is absolutely awful, awful finish that by James. And no wonder he's not in the national side. And I really want to take over the national side. It has been mentioned to me what I could do, if time goes too far, is I could create a second manager, take over the national side, then resign straight away. And there's a goal. It's Jim Morrison again. Yeah, I could take over the national side as a different manager, then resign, so the job is at least vacant, and then we could apply on this account. So we could do that, but I'm thinking I might wait a couple of years first, just so we start to get a few more of our players taking up Gibraltarian nationality, because that'd be pretty good. So Jim Morrison, 2 goals in this game. It's pretty impressive for a centre-back. Oladiji's having a good game as well, an assist and a goal. Apart from them, everyone else has been a little bit quiet. Zhang Song Jie is going to be a good player for us next year when he can play in the Champions League as well. Of course, we brought him in a little bit too late this year. Oladiji plays it into Vega. Vega into Bustamante. Bustamante's onside. It's bouncing around like pinball in there. Oladiji plays it back to Bernal. Bernal into Oladiji. Sees the movement of Vega. And Vega does put it into the back of the net. And I do like Michael Vega. He's more likely to score headers, really. But getting a goal there using his foot, which is pretty good. And that's his 9th goal of the season. This is his first season with Vega. And I wasn't 100% on him when I brought him in. The coaches don't seem to like him, but he's got like 15 heading, 15 positioning, 15 jumping and strength. And he's got everything you need to be a great target man. So I'm really happy with Vega. And he's proven why we're really happy with money. And that's Oladiji now with 2 assists and a goal. He's having a cracking game, but not quite as good as Jim Morrison there in defence. 9.4. 2 goals from the centre-back. And obviously some great defensive work as well. So a little bit happier now. 4-0. Is this going to be another goal, or is this just going to be the end of the game highlight? It could just be the end of the game. Frank Evans now plays the ball out wide. It's cut out by Perry. And that's the problem. Frank Evans is our best Gibraltarian. I think he is the best Gibraltarian player, but he just seems to struggle a bit. He really does. And there we go. That's the end of the game. A 4-0 victory over Gibraltar Phoenix. Let's tell everyone we're very happy with the result, as we are. And that now puts us 7 points at the top of the table. Of course, everyone else does have a match in hand on us, but still 7 points, or even 4 points, is going to be a pretty big advantage at this point of the season. So I'm very happy with that. Jim Morrison did get the man of the match. Eric Franks was our key player, but only played a 6.8. It's a little bit disappointing, that is. But like I said, the team's going to completely change as we go into our next game against Marseille. And here we are with our 5th match of this Champions League group stage. As you can see, we are away at Marseille. Again, they are pretty heavy favourites for this match, as they should be, in all fairness. We're still struggling with more injuries. It's been really bad for us recently. Let's have a quick look at the team we've got set out. We've got a quite defensive formation as normal. We've got Ramito in goal. Well, been very good for us this season, as he's been with us quite a long time. This is his 4th season with us now. Of course, I don't think he'll be able to play for... Oh, he can. He's played under 20s, which I think means he can still be called up for the national side. I'm not 100% sure on that one, to tell the truth. Left back, we have Baxter at the moment. Normally, our best left back is Jared Murphy, but he is out injured. And our other backup left back we brought in after the window had shut for the Champions League squad, so he's not unable to play. So Baxter, a Gibraltarian player, playing the Champions League group stage, surprisingly enough. Jared Madison comes back in as our centre-back, a really good young defender, just getting better and better, as you can see. Alongside him, the Colombian Obef Patiño. Played a few games for Colombia, or played 1 game for Colombia now, but played at 38 games for the under-20s. Anders Broger does come back in. His match fitness and sharpness is back up to where we're hoping it was going to be, so that's pretty good. Alongside him, we have Marlon Manning, the Monseration we've had now for a good few years. He is wanted. I wonder whether he might be a player we might let go at some point if somebody comes in with a decent offer for him. In that central midfield spot, we have Eric Bernal, again, another American. He's getting slightly better. He's not the best player we've got, but still, he's a good player. Down the left-hand side, we have Finn Baird coming back in. not had the best of seasons so far, really. He's only played a 6.99, not played a single league game yet because we're resting him and keeping him solely for the Champions League. So as soon as the Champions League's done, of course, he'll get a lot more league games in. Then we have Kwesi Oladiji up the right-hand side. Had a great game against Gibraltar Phoenix. And, of course, with Sergio Tundi injured, the best person we've got to bring in. And then up front, Richard Jones is injured once again. Just so many injuries at the moment. So we're going to bring in Maximiliano Bustamante. He had a great few games, scored a great few goals. I think he scored 6 and 6 so far this season. So hopefully he can do the same here for us this evening. So, anyone in their team that really rings a bell? Nobody I can see. Amavi I've heard of. Yeah, apart from that, I can't recognise any of their names. So let's get straight into this one. See what we can do. Of course, we pulled off a draw at home against Marseille. We also pulled off a draw away at Barcelona. Those are the 2 points we've got so far. Be interesting to see what we do here. We've not been absolutely hammered at all yet, which is what I was expecting for every game so far. Of course, we drew with Marseille. We drew with Barcelona. We lost 2-0 at Stamford Bridge to Chelsea. We drew we lost 2-1 at home to Chelsea. So far we're yet to be embarrassed, which is I'm sort of okay with losing 4 or 5-0. I don't want to lose it, but I'm sort of okay with it because that's roughly what should be happening on paper. So, come on, that was off the pitch. That was clearly off the pitch. Come on, ref. Well, he's giving it. I'm sure that ball went off the pitch then. We'll watch that again, but I'm sure. Here we go, look. The heavy touch there. Oh, I don't know. That looked bloody close, that did to me. And Niang was at the back post to knock it in. So 8 minutes in and we are losing 1-0. Again, just as long as we don't get absolutely hammered here, I'll be happy. One thing I forgot to mention is Chris Morgan is back on the bench at Australian. So should we get a chance, maybe bring him on for like 10-15 minutes towards the end of the game just to try and get a little bit of match fitness back. And hopefully we can get him back ready for the Barcelona game in the next episode. The next episode will be our last of the Champions League group stage matches this year, which is a little bit disappointing. But it's just been an absolute meteoric rise this year. We've gone from not getting past the second qualifying stage to getting all the way into the group stage and even getting a couple of points against some big clubs. So it'd be great to see if we can continue this meteoric rise into next season. I'm hoping we can. I'm not expecting us to get back in the group stages, but at least get a lot closer, or even maybe sneak away into the Europa League. Because if we can sneak away into the Europa League, you know what, we could do a pretty good job in there. Because we've done pretty well here. We're half an hour in, we're losing 1-0. Manning takes out Marat. That's going to be a booking, is it, or just a talking to? Manning's done pretty well. He's had to come in place of Morgan, and it is going to be a yellow card for Marlon Manning. So, yeah, when Morgan got injured, Manning's come in. He's done a pretty good job in that defensive midfield spot. As Kone lines up this free kick, plays out wide to the goal scorer Niang. Overlapped there by the right back Rodriguez. Oh, great work, Baxter. Matthew Baxter, the left back from Gibraltar. Plays the big ball forward to Bustamante. Now he's on his own up there though, but he takes it past 2 or 3 players and he gets taken out there himself, but oh, they do get the ball back. I thought that was a foul there for a second. Great work there by Baxter, showing how good he is. He's not a fantastic, he's Gibraltarian, but he's probably one of the best Gibraltarian players around. We've only got 3 or 4 in the squad now. Oh, Ramito, come on. Come on, Ramito. You should be saving that. I think he even got his hands on it. He just couldn't palm it out in the right direction. It was a great run by that Brun. But scoring from this angle, Ramito... Oh, come on, Ramito. Well, that's a shame. He's made a mistake. He's been so good for us the last 4 years. Can't really moan too much. But still, I'm disappointed with that. 2-0 down after half an hour. This could end up being our biggest defeat in the Champions League here. We've only conceded 2 goals in the group stage. That's the most we conceded in a game. And we could end up conceding more than that here just in the first half against Marseille. Again, that looked like it went out to me, but Rodriguez into Niang. Plays it back to Rodriguez. Nitcham in space. Back to Niang, and he's got straight past Baxter. Baxter is really our weak link at the moment, and Bruin puts it in for a third. This is not going well. Baxter's not having a very good game, but we've got nobody else that we could bring in left back. everything they're doing just seems to be coming down that right-hand side. They're really just picking Baxter off. And look at that, he just run past him like it wasn't even there. And the space that Bruin got, you see this centre-back, Maddison, came across. And as he came across to try and block it off, he ended up losing the man in the middle. So 3-0 down after 35 minutes, disappointing. And we've had 4 players booked as well, which is a bit of a problem. This is the biggest drubbing we've taken so far. We've had only 32% of possession, and we're losing 3-0 at half time. It's not looking good, is it? We're gonna tell them I'm not happy with that at all, because they have been extremely poor, and it has fired them up. But at the same time, I know we're expecting to lose, but at the same time, it's the performance which is disappointing me. And Matthew Baxter, there's me saying he's had a bad game today. He's actually our highest rated player in the first half, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's see what we can do in the second half. As long as if we can keep it down to 3-0, it won't be too bad, I suppose. But I just want an improvement in the performance, because at the moment it's been pretty disappointing. So we've got a high. Well, we're in the ball for this highlights. Baxter to Broga to Bernal, plays it into Bustamante, who gets it taken off him by Kone, and they come forward once again. Michael now on the ball, takes it straight past Wildman like he's not even there. Come on, get the ball back off him. And oh, Manning, don't do this. I was going to take you off in 10 minutes and bring Morgan on. Oh God. Well, that has just caused us some problems now. That really has caused us some problems. Let's bring Baird back. We're just going to have to try and consolidate this loss now, I suppose, aren't we? Bernal, you're going to have to come back, and I'm going to bring on Chris Morgan. He's not 100% fit, but I just feel that he'll be able to solidify that a little bit for us. Defensive winger, that looks like a good idea. And Baird, you're doing the best you possibly can. Any substitutions wise? I don't know. I'm thinking we'll bring on Vega for Bustamante as well. Just that if we do get the chance, we can just loft the ball up, and maybe he can knock the ball in. A couple of headers here and there, who knows. So we'll do that. We are down to 10 men now, losing 3-0 to Marseille. I'm disappointed with Manning. I was just saying before the game that it potentially a player we could let go at some point. He's not going to make it into the Gibraltar national side because he is at Montserrat, and he has got quite a few caps for Montserrat as well. So he's not going to make it into the Gibraltar national side, so we probably could let him go at some point. He's wanted, and he's not quite at the level that some of our other players are. Especially, I've got a couple of really good defensive midfielders coming in January as well. So Manning's really going to see a massive reduction in his first team opportunities. Especially now getting sent off. No, we'll leave everything as it is. We're on the hour mark. Chris Morgan is not 100%. He really is. I'm not expecting a great game from him. But he might be able to just shore up that midfield a little bit. As long as he doesn't tweak his injury at all. This is probably a good thing because he gets a good half an hour's worth of football. If we give him a good hour's worth in the league game coming up next before the Barcelona game, then potentially he could be 100% fit. Looks like Barcelona are hammering Chelsea 3-0 as well. If we can hold on to this and lose 3-0, like I said, it's not going to be too bad. Still disappointing, but 3-0 loss is not a really bad result for us. Like I said, on paper, I was expecting to lose all these games 6 or 7-0 when we came into this. So a 3-0 loss is not a bad result. A 4-0 loss is still not a bad result. And oh, come on, Wildman. Oh, he don't get sent off, Wildman. Is he going to get sent off as well? No. Okay, I thought it was going to be a booking. I thought he was going to get booked. Is he still going to get booked? Oh, God! 2 men sent off. My God, what are we doing to ourselves here? Oh, really? I just don't know what to do. I'm going to have to take off Vega. We just have to play with no stroke. We're not going to come back and equalise this game, so we're just going to take off Vega and then hopefully just not concede any more goals. Well, we're going to concede another goal. They've got a penalty, but hopefully if we can keep it at 4-0, it's not going to be too disappointing. You never know, Ramito could save this. Brun is on his hat-trick, though, and he sends the keeper the wrong way, and it is 4-0 to Marseille. And yeah, this is our worst result so far in the Champions League. 2 men sent. I said at half time I was worried about having 4 guys booked and having 2 men sent off. It means Manning and Wildman are both going to be suspended for the game against Barcelona as well. So Manning's not a massive loss, because if Morgan's back, then we do have a replacement for him. Wildman, on the other hand, it looks like Ashley Riley could be getting a full game against Barcelona. Ramito palms it away. We need to catch that, really, Ramito. Good block there by Broga. And it is going to go out for a throw-in. I can't believe I had 2 men. I've never had 2 men sent off in the same game before. Now Morgan's been booked. Don't get Morgan sent off, whatever you do. Oladiji's playing a 5.9. He's been awful. He had such a good game against Gibraltar United as well. He really did. Now Bruma brings it forward. It's gone out to Rodriguez. Just clear the ball. There we go. There's the full-time whistle. 4-0 loss. Again, I'm not happy with a 4-0 loss, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, it's still better than what I expected on paper. I'm not happy with that at all. Don't get me wrong. So that's hopefully going to fire them up coming up for the next set of games. We are bottom of the group now. We are going to finish bottom of the group. We're not going to get through to the Europa League, which is what we expected anyway. It was a little bit ambitious to even consider getting Europa League. But still, we have 1 more game against Barcelona to show what we can do. And that's going to be coming up in the next episode, along with a big game against Lincoln Red Imps, who of course beat Celtic a few weeks ago in the Champions League first round at home. Of course, I'm recording this before the second leg has been done, so I'm going to assume that Celtic won the second leg quite easily, but you never know. You never know. So we're going to play Lincoln... Oh, I pressed the wrong button. We're going to play Lincoln, Gibraltar, Red Imps, and FC Barcelona. And then that'll be the end of our Champions League run for this year, which has been fantastic. We've gained a lot of money from it. I'm very, very happy. And we're going to have quite a few good players joining us from this as well, which is, again, an even bigger bonus. And hopefully, with the new players we've got coming in, getting the Champions League will just become that little bit easier next season. So, of course, if you have enjoyed this video, then please do hit that like button. It does really help me out. And, of course, if you are new around here and you've enjoyed what you've seen, hit that subscribe button as well. We are releasing one of these episodes every other day at the moment, and I really just want to keep growing and growing and growing. And obviously the target is to win the Champions League before Foot Manager 2017 comes out. Will that be possible? I don't honestly know, but that's what we're going for. I've been Shabby Gamer, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you all next time for that big game at home to Barcelona.